This is the Solana 1 month overview reading for the month of September 2025. It's currently September 1st, 2025, 1:01 a.m. Eastern Time. Solana at the time of this reading, $197.27, that's USD. And the shuffle file for the September reading was created on August 24th, 2025 at 10:14 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video playing for you right here. For those of you that have never seen this channel before, this is a system of meta analysis. It utilizes esoteric sciences and meta pattern recognition to time markets like no other system that out there. This isn't some hokey pokey stuff. I was a Wall Street broker and left Wall Street to pursue this, basically. That was 26 years ago that I started my first day trade. I was a Wall Street broker in 07. But in any case, what we're going to cover in this video will be the overall trend direction and chart behavior, or main event of the month. We're going to give you chart behavior having to do with the month's highest high and the month's lowest low. And we're going to give you the day-by-day sequence of chart events. It's important to understand, really important, listen up if you're new. We're predicting the sequence of chart events by the day, but it's the sequence of chart events that's most important to follow. The timing is usually on point to the day, but there's plenty of cases where you need to give the timing plus or minus a day or two of wiggle room at some point in a reading. It's just the sequence, not each card's energy will line up perfectly with 24 hours of time in all readings. It's just, be silly to think that that would be the case. But in any case, for that reason, I do not recommend trading this information alone. You should only paper trade this. If you're serious about trading this information, you want to make consistent returns, then you need to get monthly access subscription on our website. That's got the live Discord trade alerts and live trading view chart links, where we actually draw entry and exit into and out of these trades. I'll show you how to get that stuff at the end of the video, after we give you one of the best trades that we see for September, or I should say we expect for September. So let's get into it. There's overall theme and chart behavior. There is a significant opportunity to open up a long position taking place in September. It's crossed with a peak that, with a rally, a peak that's created when a rally is halted by a decline through key support. Behavior around the highest high, a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. Behavior around the lowest low for the month, we've got a rally that turns over, creating a crest, and then declining into the low within a close time proximity to the low, I should say. A rally that turns over with a crest. As far as the timing to the day of the highs and the lows, that's stuff that comes in the monthly access subscription. But we're going to get into the day-by-day sequence of chart events for you right now. Before we do that, I just want to make sure you're aware of the whole purpose of the channel is to follow the rule of karma and transmute the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. You do that and you manifest wealth for yourself in the process by donating 5% of all profits from this information forward to one of these charities right here. And 5% of all profits should be donated back to the channel as a way to say thank you and express gratitude. Faith and more to come. Gratitude for what you have, and a clear conscience. Spend that 90% out of love. Those are the key components for manifesting wealth. And blessings to all my angel investors. Thank you to those of you with the integrity to follow through on that. Much love and appreciation. Let's get into that day-by-day chart behavior. So we've got a rally on the first, increasing with momentum moving forward into a peak on the second, but there's a notable reversal. There's a notable reversal or a sharp drop out of a period of sideways rotation. A sharp drop there. So could be multiple reversals or one big reversal. Hard to say there on the second. But three pokes through the same trend line followed by a sharp drop off of that third poke. It looks like a third poke is probably going to take place on the cusp of the third and the fourth at a resistance level that we failed to break through many times before. And we declined pretty notably. Someone should be speaking around that time that would impact Solana somehow. What they're speaking on should not be relied upon or trusted. There's sideways rotation on the 5th along key support and an important trough. Everything, when I say important trough or support, everything is going to be on the scale of a 1 month chart with 1 day candlesticks unless otherwise specified. There's a pop and a drop out of that resistance, or out of that support on the 5th into the 6th. We pop. There's a resistance level that we then drop from, and there's a prominent peak that forms around the 6th or the 7th that we drop from, and then we should return to it in the not too distant future. It looks like in the 7th we probably return to it with a failed attempt to break through it, and then a decline through key support into one of the main events, if not the main event, with this decline into a trough taking place on the 8th. It correlates to the theme card very strongly, so I'll likely come back to that later in the video or in the monthly access. We'll see. On the 9th, we've got a period of volatility and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility. Decline increasing with momentum moving forward into another trough on the 10th. A lower trough on the 11th, and a lot of price change into and or out of that trough. Looks like out of that trough to the upside with a breakout to the upside. A rally along a diagonal trend line ends with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility there on the 11th. Increasing volatility into the 12th, where we have sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bear along a support level that we attempt to establish support along between the 12th and the 13th. Then there's a pop to the upside. That's an intentional fake out or shakeout, some sort of tricky chart behavior, false indicator, something that the computers are doing intentionally to trick us into doing the wrong things. So be mindful there. We'll likely revisit a support level there as well. And there's likely a sharp drop from that peak early in the day on the 14th. We flatten out for a bit on the 15th. On the 16th, we're revisiting an opportunity within a period of erratic behavior back and forth through the same price. And it looks like I'm being advised not to chase a decline. There's a trough that forms later in the day on the 16th. Be cautious on the 17th. Multiple false tops or bottoms or tricky chart behavior can make us do the wrong thing. A big move out of a trough on the 18th, pushing the upper end of a range higher, and then on the 19th, a notable decline to revisit a support level we recently met before as an opportunity. A prominent peak on the 20th at a near overbought crest will sell off from that pretty notably. Another peak around a peak and a trough taking place on the 21st with this big move to the upside reaching for distant resistance. And then we've got this unicursal hexagram overlapping the strength card. So there's probably some really significant price swings going on here around the solar eclipse. A peak in there, sharp drop in there, a big move from the bottom of a range to the top of a range in there. We have a prominent trough on the 23rd within a period of 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level at a key support level on a 1-year chart scale. A sideways fluctuating decline on the 24th offering opportunity or taking place before move to the upside into a peak. On the 25th, we have a U-shaped dip between 2 peaks, so likely a peak at the end of the day on the 24th. We U-shaped dip from that, and then we come back to roughly that price level with early on the 26th. There's a trough late in the day on the 26th after a peak sells off pretty sharply, and then a lot of price change on the 28th into and or out of a support level on a multi-day scale. A big move to the upside offering some trade opportunity. I'll talk about it in more detail in the paid version. Sorry guys, hold on. Hey, no barking guys. No barking. My apologies, guys. My apologies. I watched dogs on the side and something set them off just then. But it was really loud because I wouldn't have heard it otherwise with my earphones on. In any case, so we've got this price swinging going on around the 22nd, 23rd into a trough. Sideways fluctuating decline on the 24th, preceding a notable rally, U-shaped dip between 2 peaks, upper end of a range on the 26th, followed by a trough towards the end of the day. Lower trough most likely at the end of the day on the 27th. Hermes, no barking. Guys, no barking, please. I'm so sorry, guys. And then a lot of price change into and out and or out of an important support level on a 1-year chart scale there on the 28th. at another trough. Move out of that pretty notably, turns over into another trough around the cusp of the 29th, 20, and the 30th, and then sideways rotation ends on the 30th with a fast sudden move higher. Sneak preview for October, more decline through multiple support levels, a resistance level that we failed to break through many times before, or multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance is followed by a decline through multiple supports. And we'll look at that in October in much more detail in the actual reading for October, which most likely will be coming out within a week of this video. All right, guys, so I'm going to give you one of the best trades that I see for the month. But remember, this is something that you should only paper trade. If you're serious about trading this information, you must have access to those game-changing services, the live Discord trade alerts and TradingView chart drawings. I'm going to show you how to go get those after this trade. So there's a decline in here from the 8th to the 10th. Guys, no barking. From the 8th to the 10th, there's like this decline in here offering opportunity to open up a long position. And you want to close that long position around the 20th or the 21st. I would say the 20th, backup would be the 21st, and rule of thumb when trading SO meta analysis, never wait for a backup. A backup should only be used when necessary. You want to get in and out of these trades quickly. You don't want to get stuck waiting. What if this is going to happen? What if this is going to happen? Who cares about max gain? The idea is to get in and out with a profit, right? So you want the most reliable entry and exit, not max gain and max loss, or least loss, I should say. In any case, the way that you get those game-changing services, you go to our website, Terror for Traders. Like, these are the type of things that I'm talking about, these chart drawings. We're not always right, and you can see how here we were way off, but most of this was pretty much on point leading into that. We have our days. And with that said, that all comes with the Solana channel, where we're dropping actual live trading alerts in real time. There's a chat channel, and you also get the same information for Bitcoin, Nvidia, QUBT, Tesla, and XRP, as well as the SPY day trade alerts and swing trade alerts, all part of the monthly access subscription. You go to our website, tarotfortraders.com, hover over order now, click on subscriptions. Monthly access subscription is the mid-level subscription. You get the earliest access to any of the public posts coming out on YouTube, come up first on the early access channel. You also get a channel to ask questions for live streams. When we have live streams, you can ask questions there. And it comes with everything that early access has as well. This is $300 a month, guys. It's vastly underpriced for the value of these trades. You know, I'm not right all the time, but the majority of the time I am. Been doing this a long, long time. So you make that back in one trade easily. And if you don't, then you probably need to get more capital before you trade with this service, you know? Think from a business standpoint. And so, that's the September reading. I'll leave you with that, and I'll see you guys on the monthly access portion